So we're going to talk a little bit about HAES. And what does HAES even stand for? It stands for Health at Every Size. This work is all based on Lindo Bacon's work that ultimately debunks myths around health and body size. So within HAES, there's 5 main principles. The principles are eating for well-being, which really just means you're trying to nourish your body and meet its hunger and fullness cues. Weight inclusivity, which it stands to eradicate weight stigma. Respectful care, which means that we don't discriminate based on weight. Life-enhancing movement, meaning joyful movement, not punishing kinds of movement. And health enhancement, that we're all trying to work towards achieving health without being harsh or mean or punishing. A large tenet of HAES is intuitive eating. Intuitive eating, in a nutshell, means that we're eating according to your body's wisdom and intuition. There are 10 guiding principles from Evelyn Triboli and Elise Rush's book. They include Principle 1, the rejection of diet culture. So in this talk, we've spoken a lot about how harmful diet culture is, and intuitive eating really hinges on the idea that we're trying to reject the notions of needing to be thin or fit into some kind of body ideal. Principle 2 is honoring your hunger. And with honoring your hunger, you're also looking towards eradicating diet culture by just listening to what your needs are in the moment and not trying to make any external judgments about those needs. Principle 3 is making peace with food and ultimately trying to work towards incorporating foods for enjoyment and not judging those foods. Principle 4 builds on this by discovering the satisfaction factor in food, that ultimately, if you're leaving a meal feeling unsatisfied, you might end up using food behaviors. So the goal is to work towards feeling satisfied at the end of a meal. Principle 5 is feeling your fullness. So really trying to incorporate tenets of mindful eating and slowing down and being really curious about how your meal just affected you. Principle 6 is challenging the food police. So, we've all sort of grown up with the idea that, you have to have 3 bites of your carrot before you can have any sweets. And in Principle 6 of intuitive eating, we really work towards helping our clients challenge those ideas because they're all based on external value systems anyway. In Principle 7 of intuitive eating, we really work with clients to cope with their emotions with kindness. So here, as therapists, we already do this where we're working on developing compassion and not judging any kinds of feelings. Principle 8 is where we work with clients on respecting their bodies. One thing that comes up often with clients in the eating disorder work we do is trying to get rid of clothing, for example, that doesn't honor where their body currently is. So that's one of the tenets of Principle 8. Principle 9 is where we encourage movement in a joyful manner, and instead of any kind of harsh or critical kinds of movements. Principle 10 is where we work with clients on honoring their health and incorporating all foods to achieve gentle nutrition. This might mean really working with clients to incorporate all foods. So foods they might have historically been fearful of when they were engaging in their eating disorder, but also working on incorporating nutritionally dense foods as well. One more piece of HAES worth noting is the concept of set point theory. This can be really scary for clients. The idea of set point theory just means that our bodies might naturally tend to fall towards a certain number on a scale. We also don't encourage anyone weighing themselves, but the idea of allowing one's body to naturally gravitate to where the body wants to be. So this can be really scary for clients who have always tried to be heavily in control of what their body ends up looking like, but it's a really important part of the HAES work that we do with clients. As part of set point theory, we're really working with clients to sit and trust their own body's wisdom, and that can be really scary for our clients who have historically tried to remain very much in control of what their body looks like. Part of HAES and set point is that we're really trying to work towards building trust to let go of those beliefs and let the body sort of guide where they naturally fall. We just wanted to take a moment to have you check in with yourselves and really understand how this material is sitting with you. A lot of this might be new for you. Concepts like HAES and set point theory, maybe you already know about, but they're really loaded. And we call ourselves HAES-informed clinicians. HAES is really the gold standard in approaching the work with eating disorders, but it's not really a treatment modality. It's rather a way of viewing the healing process. Incorporating health at every size into the work that we do with clients is critical. It helps them in rejecting all of the diet culture stuff that we've spoken about and really learn and build trust within themselves. By slowing down and checking in with you and understanding if you're activated by this material, it's really useful because our clients are really activated by a lot of this material, often rejecting the concepts of HAES just outwardly and not really wanting to dig any deeper and understanding how their health might not be connected to their weight, or how set point might really drive what their body looks like, or building intuitive eating when they've only known dieting. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Christina again. So in my work with Christina, I really had to go slowly. I still do go really slowly with these concepts. I started by talking about HAES by introducing the idea of working with a non-diet dietitian. So really a non-diet dietitian just means someone who is familiar with the concepts of health at every size, intuitive eating, and doesn't place any expectations on what their clients eat or what their bodies look like. Christina's hyper-focus on weight and dieting made it so hard for her to even hear a concept like set point theory. Accepting this notion for Christina meant, and still to this day means, living in a body that she struggles with not changing. While she still engages in behaviors that make it clear that she would like to change her body, she has really worked on internalizing the ideas of intuitive eating. She's able to eat foods that are fear foods, like Pop-Tarts or sourdough bread, things that Jenny Craig would have told her are bad for her. She's also at times believed that health at every size is something she could even internalize, which has allowed her to be kinder to her body. But these things ebb and flow for her because when you're so entrenched in diet culture, it's really hard to take a step back from all of it entirely. But ultimately, for clients like Christina, neutrality towards the body is a huge win. And there have been times where Christina has lived in that place, and it's been remarkable to watch. So tying all of this back into attachment work with Christina and her accepting tenets like HAES and intuitive eating, it's remarkable to see just how her relationships outside of therapy have been impacted. She's actually engaged to be married and in relationships with people in a much more secure fashion. She can tolerate and withstand when people don't call her back, or when her dad says a comment about food or weight. She can really stay true to her own values and feel really solid within her own ability to get her needs met nutritionally, but also to be in relationships in a secure way. One thing that's been so evidenced by the work I do with Christina is that developing intuition with food and working on intuitive eating also translates to our relationships with people. And Christina is actually able to really slow down and listen to her own intuition about how she is in her relationships, how she's feeling about someone leaving her, her needs within those relationships. And all of that allows her to make those needs known and be more satisfied in her relationships with people and with food.